Now, my next guest has one of the longest and most illustrious CVs of any actor working today. She has famously stripped off alongside Helen Mirren in Calendar Girls. She's been Stephen Fry's confidant in Kingdom and has even appeared in Star Wars in the coolest role of all, a fighter pilot battling the Empire. Her turn in Victoria Wood's Acorn Antiques won her an Olivier Award, and I'm going to be talking to her in a moment about the fascinating new play she's in. But first, a classic clip from the 1980s with her old friend, Julie Walters.
What's the matter, Sue? I don't think I can afford my usual fabric softener as well as my powder, Wendy.
Why not do what I do?
What's that?
Put my powder in the trolley and my fabric softener in here.
Celia Imrie, star of stage and screen and notorious thief. Welcome.
Oh, yes. It still makes me laugh, all those.
Yeah.
Marvellous. I'm glad you're not going to ask me about banking and money, though.
Oh, I was going to...
Oh, no, please don't.
So, what do you think about the Bank of England? No, I was actually going to start off by asking about this play, which is about...
Sex.
It's about sex. It's 1953. It's one of our greatest theatrical nights, Gielgud, caught in a lavatory.
Yes, funnily enough, when I first heard about it, I'm a bit of a prude somewhere along the line, and I thought, oh, poor Sir John, I think he'd be turning in his grave if he knew there was a play written about this incident in his life. But actually, the minute I read it, it's terribly sympathetic to him, and I'm afraid I do worry, rather. Have things changed very much? Because to me, it's very much like the setup that George Michael found himself in America, where really and truly they were both set up by the police, which is appalling that we haven't really moved on that much. But it's a wonderfully sympathetic play to Sir John, and I think actually he'd be rather thrilled.
And you play one of the key characters who really sustained him through what must have been... I mean, again, it's very hard to remember what the atmosphere was like in the early 50s. Like, some of us can't, but I mean, it was very, very different, much more censorious, and it must have been very, very hard for him simply to step onto a stage again after being done for...
Yes, I think he absolutely dreaded it, actually. And I'm so thrilled to be playing Dame Sybil. I think she's one... I keep
Sybil
seeing
Thorndike, one of the greats.
Dame Sybil Thorndike, yes. And I keep seeing little interviews with her. She's just such a good sport. She's one of the greatest optimists I think I've ever come across. And although I think she was quite an innocent as well, she didn't necessarily know quite what Sir John was getting up to in the lavatories. But she absolutely stood by him because she adored him.
Yeah.
And she did pull him through. It was a wonderful friendship.
This is a role you're far too young to play, I should say.
I'm glad you said that, Andrew. Far too young. I'm supposed to be 70. Hope I don't look 70. Although last Sunday I was filming and I had to take the place of a wonderful actress who I'm mad about, who wasn't very well. And when I told my friend who it was that I was taking the place of, she nearly screamed with laughter. But I was playing Liz Smith last Sunday, who I think is 87.
I was going to
so
say,
I don't know quite what's going on.
I would have a word with your agent if I was you. Now, do you ever see Gielgud in action?
Yes, I did. I'm very proud to say that I spent my whole dole one week and sat in the front row and saw him and, what is marvellous now, Michael Feast, who is playing Sir John brilliantly, if I may say. I mean, I am in the most fabulous company.
Oh.
We're very ensemble, actually, and I love that.
Yes.
But it is a cracking good company, and also I'm amongst these handsome hunks and I'm the only woman.
Well.
So I pretend to be a diva and throw my script around the whole time.
Fantastic,
Yes.
fantastic. Well, I've promised everybody sex and violence, so I'll come on to the violence now. Fighter pilot in Star Wars, that must have been the coolest role you ever played.
The coolest. Actually, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I really knew the Star Wars plots and things. I didn't. But I just thought I had a young boy, son of about 4 then, and I thought, actually, it might be quite cool if you can say your mum's in Star Wars. So, yeah, that's what I did.
On a more serious note, I know that one of your big campaigning interests is dementia, Alzheimer's and so on, and you've in fact done a play about it. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, well, it was rather wonderful. Hammond Innes, who's a dear, dear friend of mine, his wife wrote 10 plays, one of which was called The Cherry Moon, which I'm thrilled to say we managed to give a performance to on Tuesday. She did die of a form of dementia, and Sir Richard Eyre and Jim Broadbent, whose mothers died of dementia, they're both on the Alzheimer's Committee. They took part, Hugh Bonneville, Julia Ford, Robin Soanes, and it was a fantastic night, actually. And I was very moved by Terry Pratchett's programme. I thought you suddenly realise that when somebody's famous, like he is, to put his name to that cause was immensely valuable. And there was a moment when he was reading on stage and being brilliant. Because what I loved about him, he has such a sort of getting on with it attitude. He's not feeling sorry for himself at all. And he was reading from his books. And then there was a ghastly moment when he sort of thought that the light was fading because he couldn't find his place. And in the end, he had to sort of stop. It was heart-stopping, actually. But
it is one of the next frontiers, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
you know, we've had cancer, and this is the people need to know about.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, Celia Imrie, thank you very much indeed for that.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good luck. And good luck. Well, good luck. As I say, that new play that we were talking about called Plague Over England. Thanks for talking about that.
Yes.
We'll see a little bit of, I have to say, a priceless moment from your latest big hit. That people will remember from the cinema screen, which is, of course, St Trinian's, with
good.
Rupert Everett. A fantastically funny film, I have to say. So let's just enjoy a short moment from that.
thank you.
We had a fruit earlier, we've got another fruit now. This question is, which native Brazilian
Tropical fruit bears the Latin name Ananas commosus.
Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo.
St Trinian's, Chelsea?
Popo. Popo. Is it pineapple?
It is pineapple.
Okay. Well done.
The news is